You know, it's kind of funny. I just hopped back into the idea of doing a podcast, but didn't really think that, oh, maybe I should make a new layout for it. Because I can't really use the old one. Doesn't help that I didn't really resize it to anything. That's what we used to be working with. Now that I've gone up to the higher resolution, which is 1980 by 1080. Oh, well, we'll figure that out as we go.
I mean, it is the first episode, so it'll happen.
Things are rough. Usually you expect somebody to be a little more professional than that, though. Speaking of, how about we get something to listen to in the background while we're all enjoying our dinner?
Hopefully I should have no interruptions. Mom's about to go to bed, so...
So, basically, this is going to be a little more... The concept behind this is going to be way more laid back than the shows that we used to do. This is just going to be us sitting together, just talking, just enjoying, like not really getting super heated or anything like that, because hey, we're just sitting around enjoying pizza and talking about our favorite hobby, which is video games. I mean, I have a list of all of the stories that happened over the past week. And also, I promise not to chew directly into the mic. By the way, Dio, guess what I got?
Hungry Harry's?
Well, I saw that on the way. Sorry we're a few minutes starting late, by the way. I underestimated how long it would take to drive to the Little Caesars, but no, I actually have the pretzel crust pizza here. So let's see what I think of this.
I'm probably like one of the few people on this test would actually eat something like that.
What's that?
I said I'm probably one of the few people in my family would actually eat something like that. Then again, I'm one of the few people that likes pretzel M&Ms in his house.
Oh, pretzel M&Ms are the best, dude. Like, the salty and the chocolate, those are two flavors that just naturally complement each other.
Like, once again, my problem with the pretzel pizza is not the pretzel part.
It's the cheese part.
Yeah, it's too much cheese. And,
Yeah, I can understand that.
And, worst thing about Little Caesars is it kind of has, like, the worst cheese.
And I can agree with that. So I'm glad I have a Domino's nearby. They're a lot better.
Thing about this for me is that I've never had anything like this before, so it's kind of a nice change of pace. That's just my perspective on things, though. I've had so much normal pizza that it's sort of like... I saw a website once upon a time recommend these gator chips. Zill, I think, is the name of the company that makes these. But they sell these things called gator chips. And they were ranked as some of the best chips in all of America. I got a chance to actually try them out, because the first time I heard of them, I was still living in Arizona. I get a chance to eat these for the first time, and they weren't bad chips, but they tasted like the kind of chips where if your entire job was to review chips for a living, to grade them and rank them, this would be what you think is good. Because you've eaten so many things that are just the standard salt and vinegar, you've had so many sour cream and onion, that this just comes out of nowhere and is like, oh ho, this is different from what I'm used to all the time, ergo, it's good. That's kind of my mindset about this right now.
Excuse me while I get rid of the notification beeps so that doesn't get into the podcast.
I appreciate that. Get used to that, by the way. Like I said, I'm gonna try not to be disgusting, but...
You're not disgusting me. I'm used to this stuff by now.
Okay, so... let's talk about some funny things that happened, shall we?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, as soon as I thaw out my fingers here... God, I hate the cold. There are two things in this universe I hate. I hate when things don't work the way they're supposed to, and I hate being cold. It's my least favorite feeling in the world.
Which is weird.
One of those...
Because, like, I also hate when things don't go the way it's supposed to, but I hate the extreme heat. It's
Yeah,
like,
I'm afraid to say I can't stand extreme heat.
because putting on more clothes is easier than taking clothes, like, going out in public with less clothes.
Well, it's just, I despise that feeling of my hands almost feel like they're seizing up. It hurts to move. I'm almost scared of this thought, but on a certain level, I'm happy that I'm surrounded by my friends, like real friends, people who want to be around me, who are interested in the same kinds of things that I am, but 9 months out of the year, it's uncomfortable just to leave my own home. Like, can you really call that living?
Yes.
Considering I have 2 Canadian friends, I think they're used to it.
You're just not used to it. Boy, yeah.
I know, because again, it's like when the universe tells you to do something, you should probably do it. And when it's dropping literal tons of snow on you and burying your cars and driveways and these roads that modern society needs to exist, and you have to create specialized vehicles to push it all out of the way and, like, bury it in salt just to continue functioning, maybe humanity shouldn't have colonized this part of the world. I'm just throwing that out there. When it takes that much effort...
Desert regions.
That's the new air quotes. They didn't have roads a lot back then. Like, they just, like, yeah, during the winter, you know what they did? They just sat in home and survived. Like, they weren't concerned about going, like, 20 miles to go to work and then coming back. Because they didn't have that. Society changed. So, no, it's not, like, the Midwest's fault that it's so cold and sometimes the snow is inconvenient. It's just that we, as society changed, our need to go to a place farther away changed. And in turn, the snow, that's when the snow became an inconvenience. The settlers didn't, like, plop down. It's like, what's inconvenience? A man named Whatthefnu in 2019.
I don't know, man.
I think we got a little off topic there.
Never mind. I'm just... It's good to talk to people about this kind of thing. Like, it's better than letting it stew in my brain and just slowly resenting this snow-encrusted shithole some people call a state, so... Anyway, on a lighter topic, did you know that Evo Japan pulled the Dead or Alive 6 stream? Briefly?
I literally just read that a few minutes ago for the stream.
Like, for quote-unquote inappropriate content. Basically what happened is that 2 of the female hosts were, they were putting on a... They weren't quote-unquote putting on a show, but they were like, it looked like they were joking around with one another because this didn't have subtitles. It was very clearly they were spanking each other. And then, to show off the new freeform camera in Dead or Alive 6, where you can pause the action at any moment and then move it around in any way you want, they paused it during a very questionable moment in a pile drive. Like, this big burly guy, like, slammed one of the girls against the ground, and it was that one shot where his legs were, like, splayed out on the ground and her legs were, like, around his neck. Like, why did you pause it on here? I'm trying to sell a product over here. Like, come on, man. Like,
to be fair, that's pretty much what a lot of people would do with that kind of camera. I think I just heard someone's switch go off.
Okay, so let's get into actual, like, topic.
Okay.
Like, the ones you have down.
Oh, that was one of the ones that I wrote down.
I don't know. No, you were just getting, like, a little, like, distracted for a bit.
Yeah, sorry. Why, yes, it is, Simon. It is indeed. And it's not bad in my opinion, but I already talked about that. Okay, here's the bullet point I had. Fallout 76 did something right for once.
Oh, joy.
In fact, they did two things right. So, the latest patch has fixed the duping glitch, and it purged a lot of the duped guns, bobbleheads, etc. that were destroying the in-game economy and ruining the experience for other people. Plus, a player accidentally accessed a gated off area of the game, something people have been theorizing is going to be available in the future. They just haven't finished all of the quests and other things inside of it. And after begging for help on the subreddit, they didn't ban him. They just got his character out and he went on his merry way.
Watch them ban him later down the line, and then everything just goes to shit.
This is a 1984 situation. We're just going to let you wander around for a little bit and serve as an example.
Yeah. But like that is really cool. Except like what 2 weeks ago they released a patch that literally destroyed their game.
Sup, Chris?
So
Hey, good on you for the pizza, man. It's just, well, here's the thing. That's what I was trying to get at with this, is just so many people, like everybody talks about the things that are going wrong with Fallout 76 right now, and for good reason. People deserve to know about this kind of thing. They deserve to know about how there was a patch, like I think you were about to mention this, there was a patch that rolled back the game to a previous state and reintroduced a bunch of old bugs again. So people deserve to know about that kind of thing. But in the sake of fairness, I think it's also appropriate to have open discussions and let people know when the company gets it right, too. I think that's only fair.
but here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we treating a simple bug fix like they saved humanity? Like no, this is a simple oh yeah, we fixed it. Like no one should get praised for a thing that is first their job and secondly probably was there in the first place because they slapdashed that game too fast.
I mean, it's Bethesda. That's kind of their track record.
Yeah. So that's my counterpoint is no, we shouldn't praise them for a thing that probably should have been fixed sooner and something that should or been fixed in the shouldn't have happened really in the.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
So how about that jacket?
Oh yeah, that.
Oh, man,
fucking tart.
it's the most expensive poncho you'll ever buy.
I just call it tart, pretty much.
You mean what you mean is pool tarp.
No, I was thinking of like those plastic rain ponchos that you buy for like $1 at an airport or something.
Oh no, the joke that people have been making is it looks like the stuff that pool tarps are made out of.
Well, I was trying to be clever. Evidently the joke didn't land though, so let's just move on before I feel too awful about myself.
I'm not even gonna mention what I just saw.
What?
Well, I mentioned it during the stream how I decided to replay Majora's Mask for fun.
Mm-hmm.
Literally attack a Deku Scrub the same instant I get the animation for getting the stick. So make of that what you will.
You know, it's something I will make of what I will. Did you know Heroes of the Storm is getting some long overdue economy changes? So all the costumes can be purchased outside of bundles now, and you can work up towards them for in-game currency. You know, after all official support for the esports scene and development has already happened, has already stopped. Not to mention, most of the game's staff was probably gutted by the firings at Activision last week.
Hey guys, I needed to fire 800 of you, so my net worth isn't $6 billion.
I will never get out corporate things.
I think I told Whatthefnu this before. Yes, CEOs are important. They go to they know business. They know how to run a business. They are important, and yes, they should be paid higher than head developers and a bunch of people on their staff. They do not need to be paid such obscenely high amounts, though.
I think Satoru Iwata had it right, but he was too good for this world, which is why we didn't get to keep him.
Yeah, instead we get Bobby Kotick.
Bobby Kotick's net worth is only $2 billion short of being the entire equity of Activision Blizzard.
It's just too easy to. It honestly is a little too easy to crap on these CEOs, isn't it?
I mean, like Dio said, I was talking about this with him last night, but it's sort of like that situation where the guy in charge of Battlefield 5, his daughter approached him, and he was like, why is everybody making such a stink about this? I think it's cool you get to play as a woman. And he had that whole heartfelt story that he told the press. Here's the thing, buddy. You are a CEO. You don't have real feelings as far as the public is concerned, because your life, as is so far removed from what any of us understand. Like, it's a perception thing. It's why that joke has existed forever, the aristocrats. It's just making fun of people that don't understand what it's like to live without. I get that they're still human. I get that underneath it, they are still people. They are made of the exact same things that we are. It's just very hard to empathize with them when things go wrong, because they have so much to fall back on. Like, what was his signing bonus?
I think when I looked into Bobby Kotick, like how much he was worth before I found that corporate worth thing, in 2012, his salary was $64 million.
Jesus. If I had even a decimal of that, it would solve every problem I've ever had. Well.
Yeah.
On a note of a company doing something actually kind of neat, and not greedy for once. So, I doubt anybody watching this right now. I might be wrong. But I doubt anybody watching this, considering the resistance I've had to the idea of me playing this game in the past, actually plays Fortnite. But, if you wanted a reason to, they're having a little trouble rolling out Season 8 right now. So to help make it up to people, they are giving away, if you play the game and complete 13 of these overtime challenges, which is basically little side missions like play for this length of time, or kill this many people, or use this kind of gun to eliminate players. If you complete 13 of those, you get Season 8's Battle Pass completely for free.
That's it.
So good on those guys. They're actually, they see, like, something that's even minorly inconveniencing their players, and they're like, we're sorry, our hands are tied on this one, we're gonna do something easy to tide everybody over for now, and if you play along with us, if you still stick with us during that time, we won't shortchange you when it actually drops. You've taken care of us, so we're gonna take care of you. And that's kind of cool, actually. I like it when companies stand up for their customers like that. Well, okay, maybe that's a little bit strong language, but...
Yeah.
Fnu, how much would $64,000 a year help you? More than you know. Jesus, I could buy a house with that kind of money. All the PC players went to Apex. I don't...
Have you seen Apex's fucking like player numbers?
Broke 25 million within a week.
Yeah,
something like that.
They're already trying to silver price skins.
What I was trying to say is I don't doubt that. I just couldn't find the word. Don't you hate that when you want to express something, but you can't find a word powerful enough to communicate how you feel.
Oh, that happened to me a lot.
That Fortnite news reminds me of an old saying amongst my people, but you're eating, so I don't want to say it. Old Russian saying, if you call yourself mushroom, get in the basket.
Why the hell did that make me laugh?
That's an actual saying. It roughly equates to finish. You have to finish what you start. But anyway, enough about my relatives. So, how many people here are interested in Splatoon?
I play it.
So the latest Splatfest ended, and Waffles have thoroughly trounced Pancakes.
Black.
In fact, it was a 3-0 victory, which I'm more excited about this because it means all of the updates they did to how they decide who the winners of these are mean it no longer favors anybody who's not the popular choice. It's a step, well, it's not definitive proof, but it's at least a pretty good sign.
God, I still remember how broke first Splatfest was.
I don't remember that off the top of my head. Would you like to share?
Ketchup or mayonnaise.
What was this again?
Ketchup versus mayonnaise, the first one.
How did that go?
It was a mess.
I imagine. Like, you've just got all of these teams spraying ink all over the place. Condiments, too, no less.
Well, I was more bringing up as a mess, and basically I was team ketchup for that one just because I would rather use... I didn't like the idea of using white ink because it just kind of created this sort of weird feeling.
All of the Lenny faces.
And to explain, as a result, we would constantly be paired against our own frickin' team instead of the opposite team.
That still happens occasionally. Just because you've got nobody else to be matched up against.
It just got to a point where, like, we were fighting ourselves more than we were fighting the enemy.
Okay, I know this is a thing they do overseas more than in America. But I've actually heard what you're supposed to do is mix ketchup and mayo together. Like, you put that on burgers, you put that on fries. And I've tried it, and it's pretty good.
I mean, it's basically sweet and salty put next together, so that usually works well.
Oh, can I go back to Fallout 76?
Sure.
For a bit? In Germany, they were trying to get rid of copies of it so much that if you bought a pre-owned PS4 controller, you would get a pre-owned copy of Fallout 76. For free.
GameStop has been pulling some more low-key things here in America, where they've taken huge discounts off of any Xbox One console that essentially they took $60 off of each of these console bundles that come with Fallout 76, which essentially means that you're getting the game for free. Down in Louisiana, we do ketchup mayo mixture with orange juice, lemon juice, and maybe some hot sauce. And that's our dipping sauce. Ooh, that actually sounds pretty good.
Let's go to the next topic.
Okay, I'm just going to copy that really quickly.
Yeah, so we don't get stuck in talking about mayonnaise and ketchup.
Yeah, so Hollow Knight, Silk Song is a thing that's happening.
I was so happy when I saw that trailer.
And this isn't just an expansion. This is a full-fledged sequel.
Yep.
And it's following one of the most interesting characters from that game. And we have absolutely no idea when it's coming. This is one of those it's coming when it's finished type of deals. But I'm sure the people... Go ahead.
Considering the trailer seemed to have like a lot of what looked like gameplay footage, I would assume we'd probably get at least by the end of the year.
Well, it's also an indie studio we're dealing with, so there's no way to predict that.
Probably a lot of that was just like stuff that they were able to cobble together for the trailer, but like anything beyond like those bits is like an utter void wasteland.
It could also be like the Do you remember the legends about the Halo 2 demo that they showed at E3 one year? It was an absolute garbage fire from a technical standpoint. They had to rehearse that live demo over and over and over again to make sure they didn't veer even a little bit off path. Because if they did, the whole thing would crash. Like, even professionals get this wrong every now and then. Like, game development and playing politics with publishers and whatnot is risky business sometimes.
Oh, did you hear about the Crackdown 3 thing?
I did not. What is this?
Multiplayer isn't available at launch.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What? Why?
Let me read this. But yeah, it's not available at launch. Microsoft confirms.
How curious.
It's another case of them wanting to rush the game out the door, and so they basically rush before it's actually finished.
So many companies are making that mistake these days. It doesn't work. How many times does this have to fail before you realize this doesn't work?
I mean, hell, look what happened with frickin' Capcom and a good chunk of their fighting. There's a reason people didn't like Street Fighter. Well, Street Fighter 5 at launch, because it was basically bare bones.
What do you mean? I totally love picking up a fighting game that has no story mode to speak of. No arcade mode or anything like that. I love games that just shove advertisements and brand an evil overlord of Dark Hado like Akuma, stick Little Caesar's tats on his arms.
Okay, I like to put
Who stuck this here?
Like, stories in fighting games has actually been a more recent thing. Like,
no, I know. I'm just making fun.
Yeah, I know. But still, I wouldn't use that just because it sounds like you're really picking at nothing.
Fair enough.
Hell, Blaze Blue gets flack for the shit it does, but at least its shit's usually actual content.
Well, they didn't want to hire an American voice actor.
That's the only thing I'm a little miffed at recently. Them and Atlas could eat a big fat one after what they would Persona Q2.
You know, I fully feel like the industry might be just a tad bit better if they took the Itch.io approach. Like, oh, you're going to finish the game eventually? I'll pay you full price. Eventually.
Nah, that doesn't work.
Especially with corporate.
I mean, okay, here's the thing. I have something for you. Are you ready for I'm about to drop a knowledge bomb on you so powerful that it will be the greatest advice you've ever heard as an indie dev. Yeah, eat your fucking heart out, Mark Brown. I'm about to tell you the one secret you need to run a successful indie game company for not only years, but decades to come. Are you ready for this?
Okay, you ready? Is everyone ready? Okay, what is it?
Don't open an IPO. That's it. Like, I'm kind of kidding here, but that's the thing. This is why publishing was such a dirty word in the indie scene for the longest time. This is why Kickstarter has been viewed in a much more negative light in recent years because of disasters like Mighty Number 9 and whatnot. And this is why we're having this situation right now where we're ending up in these situations where big companies are being crushed under the weight of their own investors' expectations. Investors and artists do not mix. Period.
But that's like the initial issue of if you want to like be super successful, like yeah, there are some indie devs that are able to just like, we don't need big companies, we're just gonna scoot along. But if you want to make actual,
you should learn from those guys. Figure out what their secret is.
Yeah, those guys don't make that much money. They live in near poverty.
Well, you see, how did you make money off of this game? Well, you see, How did you make money off this game without loot boxes or selling vast amounts of DLC or anything like that? Well, you see, we've implemented this brand new technology into our game development process. It's called budgeting. It's been working out pretty well for us so far.
I mean, it's a testament when even Nintendo, who has currently what's considered by many to be the top-selling console this generation, even they had that issue recently where they released the sales expectations a little too high.
I mean, well, just make Bowsette canon. Like, just her existence raised Nintendo stock by 2%.
God, this is one of those situations where I think the Futaba come in handy.
Oh, did you hear what THQ Nordic said about Darksiders 3?
Uh-oh.
What?
It met expectations.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did hear about that.
Like,
even though it didn't sell that great, they didn't expect it to sell that great. And so they were
well, it was from a niche series, so.
Hmm.
Then again, from what I've heard, the game's not very good, so.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, because we thought Darksiders 3 was never going to come out. Like those of us who have played the first 2 games and enjoyed them thoroughly.
See, I've never played them, but I took one look at that trailer and I was just immediately like, no. Just no.
No, Simon, not even close. That game had a number of problems. Don't get me wrong, War is amazing. That character is really good. It's everything that's it's how you play her adventure that brought down Darksiders 3.
God, I don't know why. I imagine that debacle a while back where people before Breath of the Wild came out thought the leak of the game was going to be female. For some weird reason.
Well, because Link looks way more effeminate in that game than he does in any other entry. So everybody was looking at that like, is that? No, it can't be. But what if it is? You can't tell me. You cannot look me in the eye and tell me that if they made one of the biggest, most famous characters in all of gaming a girl, that game would not market itself, because everybody is going to write articles about that.
Here's the thing, you would think that, but look what happened with Doctor Who. Where they did that to the Doctor, and from what I heard, that season was considered one of the worst.
Well, again, that can't be the only factor.
Oh, no. It's actually not the only factor. They've just been writing bad episodes.
Well, that too.
There you go.
That series was well hated. Some of it was towards the female Doctor. A lot of it was directed because the episodes were just badly written.
Well, that's pretty much what I was going to say. Most of the hatred toward now is that he's having really bad episodes.
Oh, also, one of the community specialists for Hi-Rez, the makers of Smite and Paladins, got released a couple days ago.
Oh, why?
Because he was because he got arrested in an undercover cop sting for child predator.
Holy
what?
shit!
Yeah. Yeah, community specialist for Hi-Rez Studios, maker of Smite and Paladin, has been let go from the company following a arrest in an undercover sting to catch child predators. Tommy Chu was one of the multiple people arrested in Operation Interception.
Well, at least in that instance, it wasn't someone important.
But still, and then they had to go on heavy PR mode.
Oh, yeah. Like, that's something you jump on immediately as a company. It's like, whoa, back up. We don't know this guy. We have nothing to do with him.
He is a fun person.
He was not using our machines for this purpose.
21 people were arrested.
Oh, jeez.
He was one of the high-res people that started as a streamer. Oh, no.
Ouch.
Oh, no, because that doubly sucks then. Because not only is it bad for the company, it encourages them to think, well, we're going to have to be way more strict about who we hire from this point forward. So it's very likely more people like in that position aren't going to get that kind of opportunity because of one idiot.
Oh, and one of his sponsors, SteelSeries, the headphone makers, released the response of we are no longer supporting or sponsoring him. Like there is just like heavy PR mode, activate, push away.
Simon, I can answer your question there. The reason we don't play Zelda while Link is sleeping because we get Zelda's Adventure.
Wait, what?
He's literally asking why we don't play Zelda while Link is sleeping, and I pretty much literally said, either you get Zelda's Adventure, or it was Wanda Gamelon, right? The one where you played as her?
Okay, here's the thing. Those games weren't even made by Nintendo.
Oh, I know.
If Nintendo took a crack at this concept, I think it would actually be decent. Y'all forget, Super Princess Peach was actually a pretty good game. Like, gameplay-wise, it's solid.
It's just people didn't like the idea of playing as Peach because she kind of has a reputation.
Oh, another thing. There in FF14, they announced a Nier crossover. Guess what's canon now? The Nier crossover. Nier Auto Tomato is canon to FF14.
To be fair, so is Ivalice, so that's really not a surprise.
No, that is a surprise because this is Yoko Taro, the guy who literally, when having an interview about this, said one-word sentences, and then the subtitles had these, like, one word and had the huge subtitle block.
That's the
world.
That's the moron who always wears a moon in those interviews too, isn't he?
Wait.
Yeah, he's crazy. This is the series that has canon material in audio dramas and plays that no one can see ever again.
You okay, Fanu?
I'm just trying to wrap my head around the fact, the ramifications and the implications. I don't think they thought this one through. If you really wanted to make Nier Automata canon in Final Fantasy XIV, you'd have to redesign that whole game. Like, from the ground up.
Portals for now.
There's no other way it works.
Yeah, no, it totally works. It's.
You know what? This just gave me the funny image of freaking Alpha showing up in a DLC for Nier Automata.
Remember, one of the canonical enemies for Nier from Drakengard 1 was you coming to actual real Japan and causing a death plague. They have teleported to like different realms before, so this is actually not that surprising.
You know, Lee brings up a good point. Yokai Watch is also canon in 14.
Oh, dear God.
Monster Hunter.
Is that why... I get it now. That's why those guys were trying to take over Evilise. They were just haunted by a yokai. I get it now.
You know, I collect stuff for that. You're making fun of it.
Monster Hunter is technically canonical to FF14.
That is more believable because both the player characters in Final Fantasy XIV and Monster Hunters go about solving the problem of giant monsters the exact same way.
By whacking with a sword.
Or blasting it with magic, or guns, or, whatever you specialize in.
But no, it's not... They're not implying that FF14's world is in the same world as Nier. That is not what they're implying at all.
Kappa Noodle, 15.
I still can't believe they literally made the fishing mini game its own game.
Oh, Japanese companies are great about that. Have you ever played Yakuza 6?
I need to get into Yakuza so damn bad.
If you screw off from the main story and you go down to the pier, you'll randomly... There's this entire other thing where you find this girl who's having trouble keeping her dad's fishing business afloat, so you, as Kiryu, decide to help, and then it unlocks this entire other mode where... this entire, fully fleshed out fishing game that could legitimately be its own game. And then a giant squid shows up at one point who, I shit you not, has his own boss music.
I love how crazy this fucking series is.
Okay, Fanu, next Go to your next topic.
Okay, yeah, we've
yeah,
been
we're
on
getting
this
off
one.
topic
We've been on this one a while now. So, okay, more than a thought than a full topic. Nintendo held a Valentine's Day poll. Guess who won it by about 23,000 votes?
Was it Bowser? No, it was Bowsette. they got all of us, and they actually put Bowsette on there.
If I remember correctly, wasn't it a certain yellow dog?
No. That was, I don't know who told you that, but it's completely untrue. Waluigi won by a landslide.
Waluigi is love!
The only person, the second place person was Kirby, who had 938 votes.
Kirby just eats all the freaking Valentines.
Kirby, there is no more Valentine's chocolate. You ate it all. Playo.
I think Lee's never heard of Isabelle.
Yes, Isabelle, yes. Isabelle, I don't know where she placed, but it wasn't even close to Waluigi's numbers.
Yeah.
I love this character. This character. Waluigi is such the hipster character. And I'll tell you why. Because the instant he wins, people love him because he does not get officially recognized by Nintendo. The instant he wins and he stars in something like Waluigi's Wacky Worlds or whatever, he'll stop being cool.
Derby.
He'll stop being cool because this saga will have an end. Waluigi's taco stand? No. Mario had a world, a galaxy. He had his own mouse. Mario has had an entire maker where you can make your own games. Luigi had a mansion. Waluigi just gets an apartment.
Oh god, that'd be like
Waluigi just sleeps out of his car. Waluigi's parking space. Waluigi's Walmart parking space.
No, honestly, what they need to do in the next Luigi's Mansion is just make a Waluigi mode. Instead of sucking up there, he just punches him in the face.
No, he hits them with golf clubs and tennis rackets. He actually has completely different mechanics. Where
so it becomes grabbed by the ghoulies in.
He doesn't, he has completely different gameplay mechanics where instead of sucking up the ghosts into the vacuum, he's using the physics engine to knock them around the room and try to knock them into each other and waste their health bars in as few hits as possible, because he still thinks he's in a sports game.
See, I hear that and I can't help but think of freaking Grabbed by the Ghoulies, which has a similar thing.
Okay, next topic.
Okay, So, you guys are familiar with The Outer Worlds, right? The latest game that Obsidian's working on?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing about this story is the timing of the release of that, considering the trouble that Fallout 76 has been going through, which we already talked about, seemed almost vindictive. Turns out it was a complete coincidence. Obsidian has stated publicly that they really don't want their fans dunking on Bethesda right now. Which honestly is a pretty cool and upstanding move on their part. Like, most companies would be like, yeah, you denied us our Christmas... Oh, I remember when you denied us our Christmas bonus because we were 1 point too low on Metacritic. I remember that time, like, you refused to update and support the console versions of this game we spent 2 years on. We remember how you completely ignored how we reinvigorated and made the best game in your own franchise. We're just gonna let people have their fun, but no. These guys have said, please don't use our game. Like, people are building it up way too much. They're turning it into something it's not. Like,
they're overhyping stuff that's gonna end badly.
Yeah, this is what The Outer Worlds is. This is what we want it to be. We didn't make this specifically to piss on Bethesda. Just be cool, everybody, okay?
Like, yes, we understand Bethesda sucks, but, we didn't do it because of that. Because, like, I saw a little bit of the interview. They weren't, like, saying, like, oh, yo, you gotta like ease up on Bethesda. It was like, no, just don't listen. We did not do this to spite Bethesda. We just did this of our own thing, and we don't like it that you guys are trying to.
You're trying to paint this as something it's not.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Like they didn't go in like in the terms of trying to defend Bethesda at all. All they did was just like, please don't treat like that's why we are making this game and that trailer. All of that was a circumstance and stuff. What's your next topic?
All right. Next thing I want to talk about. I don't know how many people here knew this. Burnout has a spiritual successor coming out called Dangerous Driving. It's coming April 9th, and it's being made by a studio called Three Fields Entertainment. Now, they're focusing...
that kind of thing's on the nose.
What's up?
That kind of hits the name on the nose when you think about it.
The thing is, don't expect to be, like, hopping dead long into busy freeways and making your car explode 7 times in a row or anything like that. They're mainly focusing on the racing aspect, which I'm happy for. I'm just happy I'm going to be able to play another Burnout-like game, because that's an itch I haven't scratched in a long time. Like, it's fun to go back to those old games, but it's like, you could... Like, I'm ready for a new one. I wouldn't say no to that.
I'm trying to remember when the last one of those came out.
To Google!
I'm already on Google. Just go on to your next topic and I'll bring it out.
Alright. Sony will be skipping E3 this year.
Not surprising after what happened last year.
Well, it's just, the exact quote from the guy who made this announcement was, "The industry has changed, but E3 has not." And I know exactly where he's coming from on this. Every single games journalist who physically flies themselves out to E3 to see that show and be part of the event and see all of the conferences live in person says they are glad that they had the experience, but they never want to do it again. They just want to sit at home and watch the live stream and, like, live tweet about everything that's happening and let things play out that way. They don't want to actually be there because of the lines and the fact that they let anybody in now. And, man, Nintendo's over here just doing their own thing with the directs, and it's working out pretty well for them so far. Like, they get to control everything. There's no chance of something breaking live on stage. There's no chance of anything going wrong. We can pre-screen this past a quality control group, and they'll tell us, yeah, that's pretty satisfying. That's a good show. You can air that to people and not get tons of negative feedback. So, yeah, we're living in an on-demand entertainment era, and if they change their format to a point where people can just enjoy their E3 announcements any way they want, why not, right?
And and they've also talked about, like, hey, unless you guys wanted to see, like, the same, like, the same games that we've been showing a little bit beforehand, that we don't really have much in-studio stuff to show off, so it just wouldn't be, like, why would we want to waste the money to just disappoint you guys?
Simon brings up a good point. They also avoid any potential "don't you guys have phones" moments.
Yeah.
Oh, Bethesda's in a position right now.
You mean Blizzard?
Right, sorry. Well, technically Bethesda too, but yeah, Blizzard is, oh boy.
Okay, the last Burnout game was in 2011 with Burnout Crash.
Hmm.
And it got destroyed it got either really bad reviews or it's okay.
Ouch. Because I didn't even hear about that game existing. That probably tells you a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of Sony, my bullet point for this one is our hopes for Sony having more open crossplay have been dashed. I'm going to be reading the Destructoid article word for word on this one for a bit. So, Sony Interactive Entertainment Worldwide Studios chairman Sean Layden made the bold claim that developers were to blame for the lack of crossplay. Plainly stated, Layden espoused, "We're open for business on this one. All it takes is for publishers and developers who wish to permission it."
Bullshit.
I'm getting to that. 2 studios are claiming that's false. This is on top of Layden repeating the same mantra that PlayStation is the best place to play, also claiming, "The PlayStation community is so large it's not like you couldn't fill up a lobby if you wanted to fire up a game." Spin City, here we come. First stop, missing the point on cross-purchase protectionville. Finn Bryce, CEO of Chucklefish, took to Reset Era to explain their position in light of these comments. Bryce says that they actually applied for crossplay status for Wargroove on PS4, which already works for PC, Switch, and Xbox, mind, so the foundation is there, and were told, quote-unquote, in no uncertain terms, that it was not going to happen. In the Game Informer interview, Layden says that it is not as simple as flipping a switch. In the same Reset Era post, Bryce claims, "We can literally toggle a switch and have it working," clarifying that it might be more complicated for Sony. Hi-Res Studios president Stu Chisam is a little more curt, stating publicly on Twitter, "Sony, it is time to stop playing favorites and year down the cross-play progression wall for everyone. We have Smite, Paladins, and Realm Royale ready to go when you are." Which, yikes. Smite just recently flipped their Switch to work on PC, Switch, and Xbox One with no issues. So we're at a point now where Sony is pointing fingers and forcing studios to defend themselves while seemingly out of touch about crossplay. It's not a good look.
The thing is, I think it's less they're out of touch, it's more they don't want to play ball.
Like, I've voiced my opinion about the Sony crossplay thing either of, like, maybe if they actually, put a game that I actually gave 2, like, flying fucks about crossplay on, I would actually care. But all these games, like, I wasn't going to play them on PS4. I'm not going to play them on Switch or Xbox, and I can these PC. If I'm gonna play on PC, pretty sure there's a big enough community on that anyway. So I don't really care about crossplay. Like, it's still an interesting and novel thing, and that games should work towards it. But I feel like it's not that big a deal.
I think Lee brings up the best point about this. It means your friends don't have to have a PlayStation to play with you. This is actually my mindset, and it's something once I start getting into games, I'm going to try to port it to as many platforms as possible, just because that's more fair to consumers, honestly. Yeah. Like, I can't play Crackdown is a game I'm actually interested in right now. I want to play Crackdown 3, but it's Xbox One exclusive, and I don't have that machine. So sucks to be me. It's the same thing for people who want to play particular games, especially with their friends. It's like, okay, I have the right machine, but my best bud doesn't. So how the hell are we going to make this work?
Their mindset is basically, "Hey, go buy it then, asshole." Thinking we all have, like, tons of money when we don't.
My favorite image related to this situation is 3 colored bars. It's one rectangular image, but it's in 3 colored segments. One is red, one is green, one is blue. And they have the Nintendo, Xbox, and Sony logos respectively. And it just says in big bold text, this looks like an actual ad somebody produced for the companies. And it says, "Better together, okay, fine."
But yeah, like, it was just put our ending statement. I don't give a fuck about crossplay. Like, yes, people can, like, bring up their complaints and like it, but, like, I've never had a situation where my friends had opposite systems and we were playing opposite games. So
Good.
I cannot relate with this to people. Like, I understand that reason, but like, if you want to play with your friends, just play it on PC. Boop boop a doop. Why are you caring about?
Well, I'm glad you've never had that problem.
Yeah.
I'm glad you've never had to deal with that shit, because coming from the perspective of somebody who has, it sucks.
I understand, but like, I can't get mad for something I've never experienced. Like,
But anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway. On some lighter news, the team behind Sonic Mania has formed their own studio. And they're going to be focusing on original IPs. So they're called Evening Star now, and it's headed by Christian Whitehead, who was the director for Sonic Mania, Dave Padilla, the producer, Tom Fry, the art director, Hunter Bridges, the technical and audio director, and Brad Flick, who is the design director. Now, in a really cool move, Whitehead will actually be taking the engine he created for Sonic Mania, known as the Retro Engine, with him. This architecture will form the basis of Evening Star's titles, with a new title called the Star Engine. So, I'm really excited to see what these guys are going to do. I don't know if Sega's ever going to approach them again and be like, hey, Sonic hasn't been doing too hot lately. Do you want to throw your hat in the ring once again? Maybe buy us some good PR for a couple years?
And then
I hate to say it. More than like what's gonna happen is they're gonna count as like betrayal and probably never work with them again.
Or
Japanese company's kind of a pride issue.
Or Sega will just bury them and they'll never get work ever. Because people like Sega's in good light right now, but we have to always remember they're just 1 minute away from being shitlord. Like,
they've kind of had a history of sort of shooting themselves in the dick.
Yeah, remember, a lot of the games that are good from Sega aren't from like the main Sega teams anymore. It's their subsidiary.
So.
In similar news, the guy who fixed Dark Souls on PC.
Oh right, Durante. He's forming his own PC port studio.
Yeah, he's literally making a studio and be like, hey, if you need to port a game to the PC, come to us. We can do it.
I love how... I think the most apt title for this dude is one that he was given by Jim Sterling. He basically called him the Batman of shitty PC ports. Which is apt. He fixed Dark Souls, he fixed, what else did he do? I know he saved a... Didn't he do Tales of Symphonia? He fixed it in like 15 minutes?
Yeah. He literally got Tales of Symphonia on PC to not be utter garbage trash.
Oh, good lord. I think he was also given Arkham City. And, like, he dug through the code for a couple days, and he basically came back to people and said, look, even I can't do anything about this. This port is just fucked.
That's pretty damn bad.
You basically have to rebuild everything, and that's beyond my ability. Good on that guy. I hope people actually use Durante's services. Like, do we have a name for that company?
I don't think so, but...
Durante? I'm sorry.
I mean, that's what I would name it, and that's probably why I don't own a company yet.
Yeah, but I can only imagine, like, the copyright lawsuits would stone for that.
No, that's legally distinct enough.
That's the most important thing. Legally.
Whoa! Sorry, go ahead.
Anyways. Alright, we've been dancing around it long enough. I guess we should talk about the really big Nintendo news that happened this past week.
So we talked about the
Nintendo is releasing Ken, Daisy, and Young Link amiibo that are slated for release in April. That's it. That's all. Nothing else happened this past week that's related to Nintendo.
Daisy's going to smite you in your sleep.
Okay, yes, the Nintendo Direct happened. So, okay, do you want to just rapid fire everything that happened in this in reverse chronological order?
Yeah.
Okay, Link's Awakening Remastered. I am super excited for this, and everybody knows it. Hell, I streamed Link's Awakening again the night after this was announced. Like, that's my favorite Zelda game of all time. I want my hands on this now, like sooner than now.
Okay, my thing. The trailer does look a little bit rough, but like, it's probably just because they're just using early like stuff, and it'll probably look perfectly fine in the main game.
I'm just glad to hear it's on Switch and not another goddamn 3DS port.
They don't care about 3DS anymore.
Yeah, that market contracted way faster than they expected. Don't you know?
Well, it's probably because they realized, oh wait, freaking Luigi's Mansion sold like shit.
So Final Fantasy IX is on Switch now, and you should totally pick it up if you haven't already.
But you surely should not pick it up because it has all the errors that the PC port have.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
It
has all the glitches that the PC port had.
Oh, for crying out loud.
I admittedly wouldn't know anything about that because I've not played the PC port. I've seen it in action, but I've never played it.
It's probably also, like, priced way too high for...
$20.
Yeah, no, I would not pay $20 for that game. That is an amazing game. But you can literally get it on a system that is much easier to get and for only like half that price.
Can you buy a PlayStation and a copy of Final Fantasy IX for less than $20?
You can buy a PS3 for cheaper than that.
Yeah, that's what I was going for. Like, you can get a PS3 for pretty cheap, and you can get it on the PS3 PSN. For like
you might not be able to do that for much longer. Because PlayStation Plus support ended for PSN. I have a feeling that marketplace is not long for this world.
Yeah, unfortunately.
How long did it take them to shut down PS2's online?
Fair enough.
The Wii. Remember, Wii Shop just recently shut down?
Yeah, so no, I think that place is staying for quite a while.
Alright. So, Bloodstained has a release window finally. Summer 2019. This is after 4 years of waiting, by the way. I am very happy that I'm going to get my hands on this thing soon, because that's another game I've been excited for forever.
I still need to get my hands on the frickin' that one game they released for it.
The prequel game?
Oh, the 8-bit thing?
Yeah, because that looked really good.
Yeah, Curse of the Moon is very, very solid, dude.
I mean, I don't even play classic Castlevania. I like that look of that.
It's hard as balls.
I think the only classic game I played was Super Castlevania 4, if I remember correctly.
Wait, you think that game is difficult?
I played it. It's like, don't get me wrong. It's not Castlevania 3 and 1 difficult.
Ugh.
Those games will literally crush your balls into dust.
I beat Curse of the Moon on my first try.
That's good for you, Fnu.
Well, it stands out to me because usually you guys are writing me about how much of a softy I am when it comes to difficulty.
Oh my gosh, I do all that as a fucking joke.
Quick question, Fnu. Which way did you beat it?
What's up?
Which way did you beat it?
What do you mean?
There's 2 ways to beat that game, technically.
Oh, no, I got all the trophies and endings.
Okay.
So,
like I was saying, when I tell you you're bad at video games, it's a joke, Fnu.
Oh, okay. So anyway.
Fucking idiot.
Alright, you know what?
Yeah.
So hey, Noel, it's our podcast now.
That won't last long.
Let me guess what just happened.
What's that noise? That's a new one.
Look where he put us in the Discord. So, welcome to the mod room, buddy.
Why am I in the mod room? I'm not
I
even a
don't
mod.
know. You don't have the role to be in here. You took away his. Oh, that's dirty. You took away the co-host role, so he can't even join.
It's back.
Yeah, I gave it back to him.
But then he can't join because the user thing.
God damn it, Dio.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway. So shenanigans aside, Dragon Quest fans got some good news. Because both Dragon Quest Builders 2 and the enhanced version of Dragon Quest XI are both coming to Switch. Sadly, though, it seems like the extra content in Dragon Quest XI Definitive Edition is not coming to other platforms, which sucks for people who bought the game already.
Yeah, that's one of the situations where, yeah, I guarantee people are going to be raging about that. It's just like, you made this enhanced port, great. What about us people who already paid for the game beforehand?
That's just in like Square Enix's wheelhouse, though.
To be fair, that's not the first time I've seen that happen recently. Per example, I could bring up that I just found out about was the definitive edition for Shantae, where that version is the only way currently, if you weren't a backer, to get both the blue bikini and the Tinkerbat transformation.
Yep.
Which I'm not paying for another version of the game just for that. Especially because I know the Tinkerbat transformation.
I wouldn't suggest you do. Honestly.
Okay, next topic, go.
Okay, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker is getting some expansions. Which, good for people who like that game. I mean, granted, you're only getting one of the courses for free. The other 5 you have to pay for. Also, did you notice the shape of that crown that they pick up in the trailer? Because it looks suspiciously like the Super Crown.
Oh boy, I can't wait for them to say that no, Bowser is not canon. Shut up, even more than they actually already did.
Well, here's the thing. I'm just thinking that this is the explanation for how she got that power-up, because these games have some weird connections to other Mario games. Like, if you ever wondered why Captain Toad shows up in Super Mario 3D World, the Treasure Tracker games have the answer to that.
I pretty much gotta make the joke of just Captain Toadette, like Toadette in this case, saying, Captain Toad, you're gonna help me become a meme now.
And then she didn't.
Yeah, it was stolen by Bowser.
Yep. Next one, Benu.
Daemon X Machina has a demo going on right now, but it's limited time. I cannot stress this enough. We don't know when the demo is ending, so hop on this as soon as you can. Because there's also a survey you can take after you're done playing the entirety of the demo, where you can tell them, hey, here are the things I liked, here are the things I didn't like, which I don't know how much it's going to help, because this game is coming out in about 6 months. That's not a lot of time to change things around, but we might be able to help steer this game into the right direction, which would be nice because it looks good and I want it to be good. We don't have enough good, like, big robot action combat games, I think, so.
Well, I just want to point this out. Yeah, 6 months is, like, not a lot, but it's more time than, like, Anthem got with its demo.
Yeah, I realized I should have brought this up earlier when we were talking about Final Fantasy. We finally got a release date for Choco's Mystery Dungeon.
Yes, I was going to get to that.
Which I'm, especially since I looked it up, and yes, we are getting the content that was going to be on the original physical copy for Japan. I am really excited for that.
So, Oninaki is a thing, and it looks pretty. It's a game about, the premise of this is the cycle of rebirth is being messed with. There are some dark spirits wandering around that are, like, eating up and absorbing all of these other lost souls and keeping them from ending up in new bodies again.
So it's Bleach.
Sort of.
No, Bleach has actually nothing about when you die. No, your soul just goes to Soul Society and you hang out in feudal Japan for like forever.
Yeah, unless you find some black creature who decides to gnaw on your face.
Hmm.
No, that's only if you go to Waco Mundo. And you somehow have the Quincy entire dimension hidden in a pocket dimension in Soul Society that's in the layers between layers.
That series is a fucking mess.
I'm going to rapid fire a bunch of these releases because these are games we already knew about. So Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is coming to Switch. Dead by Daylight is coming to Switch. Deltarune is coming to Switch. And Toby still knows how to have fun with trailers.
That trailer was great.
The worst Assassin's Creed is coming to Switch.
No, it's not Black Flag.
He's gonna punch you, dude.
I don't like Black Flag. It's not a good game.
We already knew about Hat in Time, but that wasn't in the trailer.
What's up?
He was mentioning Hat in Time going to the Switch. That's not in the Direct.
Wait, no, A Hat in Time was in the Direct?
No, it wasn't. So what I was trying to say is that it wasn't in the Direct. We're trying to go by what's in the Direct.
No. He said Black Flag is the worst Assassin's Creed. He disagrees with me that the third one is awful.
No, the third one is awful. I just think Black Flag is worse. Because it got hyped up too much. 3
is where I just dropped off the face of the earth, that series.
That is entirely fair, because Connor is a bad protagonist.
He's just so goddamn boring.
Ain't complaining. Continue, Fnu.
Astral Chain looks freaking dope.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a Platinum game, so that was kind of to be expected. We won't know how truly good it is until we start playing it, but it's sort of, based on the little tidbits we've got, it sort of looks like an open world kind of game, maybe? I'd be interested to see what they do with that.
We might as well toss frickin' Smash in there since we basically got little to no news.
I'm gonna get to that in a sec. So, you already mentioned Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon a little earlier. That's coming on March 20th. Tetris 99 is actually a Tetris Battle Royale game. And it's technically free. I say technically because you still have to pay for Switch Online to play it. But it is free to download. So if you already have the online service, go enjoy hopping into a room and getting immediately targeted by 26 people. So, Fire Emblem Three Houses is coming July 26th.
The game looks like Harry Potter.
I am very lukewarm about this game.
I hate to make a bad joke. What if it was as bad as that crappy Harry Potter mobile game?
Oh, the one where you watch a kid get strangled for 20 minutes while you wait for your energy to restore?
Imagine them doing that with Fire Emblem. People would punch a wall.
I think a lot of people are punching a wall right now, because this game just looks so bland, dude. There is... Okay, compare this even to Awakening. My first thought was Fire Emblem, technically Fire Emblem 7, but it was the first Fire Emblem we got here in America on the GBA. That game popped. It was vibrant. It was beautiful. Every level were these sprawling plains with these very distinct looking characters. Here, just the entire academy is these drab, just hueless walls, these brick buildings that just bleed into each other. Even in the battles, everything is just so washed out. The only thing that looks like it even has a hint of color and life and energy in it is the neon bright hair colors of some of these characters.
I think the only real problem I have looking at this is a problem Fire Emblem sort of had for a while, where ever since Awakening, it's become less about the actual tactical side of things and more, hey, how many hot girls can we stick in this game that people want to
I think they're trying to get back at that in this latest entry. I think they're trying with the whole... They're focusing more on individual unit growth. They're focusing more on they're enhancing the relationship aspect with these characters, but in a different way. They're not connecting with each other. It's trying to help build your investment in them, because you have to plan out lesson plans for them. You have to choose what they're going to study. You choose different tactics and layouts for their armies, things like that. And so, if something untoward does happen to them, it hits you even harder. I think that's what they're going for with this. But the problem is, I can't remember what a single character from this trailer even looks like.
Same here. Like, no one popped. That's saying something, because compare this to Fates. As bad as that game is, the character design pops.
I still can't tell you a single Fates character's name.
Takumi.
Who?
Never mind.
No, like, I literally don't know any of their
I
names.
don't blame you.
I don't even have nicknames really for them. They're all really just bland.
Play Conquest. You will know Takumi's name by the end of it.
And you will loathe it.
So anyway,
Funny enough, I own Conquest. It's still in the wrapping.
You know what game should still be in its wrapping?
What?
Rune Factory 4.
What's wrong with Rune Factory?
That game looks rough, dude. This is the remastered version, and you still have characters eating paper graphics of food that they don't even take bites out of them. The graphic just grows smaller every time they bite it. It looks bad. It looks so bad.
To be fair, this has kind of been a problem ever since... I forget who owns the Harvest Moon license today. But, I mean, it was actually the whole reason why Stardew Valley was created, because the guys on Harvest Moon basically treat it like shit nowadays.
And they also announced that 5 is coming soon too, and hopefully it'll be better. Hopefully.
3 is the only one that ever gave me any interest, and that's only because of that premise.
Yoshi's Crafted World has a demo that you can play right now.
Mm-hmm.
At least that should be good considering the game it's based off of.
No, those games are just... That's a series you want to relax for a little bit and not think about life. Just pop in one of the Yoshi's Woolly World style games and just let your brain go kapunk.
So don't go 100% or you'll drive yourself insane.
Well, technically, there's only one Yoshi Woolly World. Yeah.
Well, I mean...
Same concept, basically.
Anyways, Starlink Battle for Atlas is getting more Star Fox content. And other stuff too, I guess.
Who cares?
Apparently only me. Like, I feel like the only person on Earth who actually cares that this game is getting more stuff.
The only reason
this really is... Sorry, go ahead.
I think the only reason why I'm iffy on it is because, well, twofold. One, the Toys to Life thing, they basically screwed over a bunch of retailers with that shit. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a single one of those things in retailers, I'll be honest with you.
Wait, I see them all the time.
Unless it's GameStop, I don't see them anywhere.
I literally went to Target today and saw some.
Also, I'll be honest, Leon's design in that one bugged me, and I'm not sure why.
I think it might be because there's no hard progression in the game. Like, you level up in different ways, but it feels kind of slow. And it's also, you're not getting direct stat upgrades for your guns or anything. You're getting percentage bonuses based on what power-ups you just happen to find in the environment. It can be a little frustrating at times to make progress in that game. Unless you're a guy like me and you just like ticking off boxes, it's probably going to drive you nuts. But I do like ticking off boxes, and I do love Star Fox, and hey, I'll take what I can get with this franchise at this point, alright?
I think I remember you raging as hell during the stream for that.
Yeah, a little too much. But anywho, next one.
Next one. Smash Brothers' 3.0 update is going to exist. Their announcement in the direct was just basically, hey, Smash Brothers is getting a 3.0 update. What is the update going to entail? You'll just have to wait to find out.
And then Joker's butt.
It's like, why did you even announce this? Like, what was the point? It's like, okay, this is coming. That's fine. Cool. You want to fill us in on a little more? Like, give us something to sink our teeth into, perhaps? You know what's...
Because I just got to the final dungeon that last...
You know what was also really confusing during the direct?
What?
Disney Tsum Tsum Festival.
Ugh.
Yeah! Game of year! Game of year! Game of year!
The fact that this got an entire segment devoted to itself, and
it's
all of the Square stuff was condensed into like little rapid fire bullet points, like they were indie games, you know?
But to be fair, a lot of those were just were ports.
Yeah, okay.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing. Last time we had a direct, all those got at least some time during that segment. Like, they actually treated Square properly last time, whereas this time it just feels like an afterthought.
Imagine the developers who are working on Tsum Tsum Festival right now, who are looking at that trailer and realizing they're going up against things like Tetris 99 and Fire Emblem and Dragon Quest and being like, oh no, this is not the publicity we needed right now.
Yeah, because it's just negative publicity at that point. I mean, great, it's better than no publicity in this case, because more often than not, if it didn't show up that thing, it would have just, no one would have noticed it even existed.
Okay, Simon's bringing up something here. They'll give you an egg. So, okay, there's a bit of a theory going on right now. They showed the Windfish's egg in the video before they announced Link's Awakening reveal. There was this little purple egg in the trailer, so it's entirely possible that 3.0 could have some Koholint content. I'm not crossing my fingers too hard on that one, but there is something data miners found. I didn't have this on the list, but I may as well talk about this right now because it's relevant. Data miners for things like the Nintendo Online Store and Smash Brothers have discovered that any strings, any lines of code anywhere that reference Super Nintendo games have been removed. And this can mean a number of different things. This can either mean it's part of the patch and they're just removing irrelevant pieces of code, or it means they're going to be introducing some SNES elements to some of these games and they're trying to cover their tracks. So who knows at this point what's going to be coming to Smash Brothers and the future of the Nintendo eShop?
How many Nintendo Direct things do you have left?
What's up?
How many Nintendo Direct things do you have left?
1, 2, 3. I have 3 left. So
because there was that Sony patent we should talk about.
Okay. Box Boy plus Box Girl is more fun puzzle action on Switch. I've actually played some of these games before. They're fun little brain teasers. They're completely... Box Boy is one of those series, like, it's completely and totally harmless.
Mm-hmm.
They're just cute and charming little platformers. They're there, they're doing their thing, and they're apparently pretty popular because they keep getting games. So, yeah, if you've never jumped in this series before, maybe this is your chance to see what all the hubbub is about.
Okay, next one.
Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 makes me happy that it's a thing. Because I know they announced this game before, but this is my first inclination that it existed. Like, I had not heard about this until now.
How many characters did they show?
Oh, I lost count. We know Captain Marvel's coming to it.
I'm already a bit red flaggy on that one. I feel like it's the version of Gamora they're using really is remind me of MVC Ultimate.
Like, my issue is that I hope it has more characters than fucking Ultimate Alliance 2. which had like the worst cast.
Wait, wasn't Alliance 2 the one that actively pissed Gerard off?
Ultimate Alliance 2 was just bad in so many ways.
Ultimate Alliance 2 was flat out broken.
Yeah.
That game barely functioned.
Because I think that one had like online only achievements that he can already get, so he got like really pissed off at the game.
Well, and there's no, it's also one of those games that you can't access DLC for anymore.
Yeah. God, don't you guys just love living in an all-digital future? It's my favorite. It's the best.
Oh no,
I love that I can't buy or support Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game, anymore.
Well, a lot of that Marvel Ultimate Alliance stuff was Microsoft's fault because they do that shit all the time. They like during the 360 era, they were notorious of delisting so many things.
Isn't that also the reason nobody can play the Simpsons arcade game anymore?
Yeah.
Let's see. And last but not least, Super Mario Maker 2.
Have fun with all the Kaiser levels.
Well, here's funny you mentioned that. Did you know that Ross made a bet with Aaron before the Direct happened? And he said to him, he made him a bet. Aaron made him a deal that if they announced Super Mario Maker 2, that he could spend a whole month getting paid to just make levels for them to play on Game Grumps. And he retweeted that with the text, "Ha! Suck it, Aaron!"
At this point, pretty much my mind says, "Welcome to hell." We have cookies.
God damn it, Ross.
So, Vinny, you want to talk about the patent thing?
Yes. Let's talk about the patent. Which I'm not entirely sure I know what you're talking about, so you explain.
Admittedly, I don't know anything about it either.
Sony has recently patented a new console that will have natural backwards compatibility for PS3, 2, and 1.
I remember you mentioning this.
This could literally be the worst thing of all time or one of the best consoles to ever exist.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
it's their make up for the freaking PlayStation Classic.
The Super PlayStation.
The Trapper Keeper of PlayStation. Just absorbing the other ones into it. Like, feed me more.
The Unicron Station. I like Simon's name for it. The PlayStation Try.
The only thing I'm concerned about when it comes to that, hearing about that, is...
But remember, this is only a patent. There has been no official announcement. People have just noticed that when they looked at the patent office, that Sony of America, Sony patented that idea.
Is there a way to send them positive feedback on this idea? To let them know that yes, I am totally on board with this idea.
Where is the yes, yes, yes button, including the gift of Bison going, yes!
I'm throwing my money at the screen. Nothing's happening.
I just want to give you money. Just take my money. Kind of point why I say this could be the worst thing of all time is that they're like, yeah, I can play all these things. You have to rebuy them.
Oh.
And everyone will be like, I'm not happy about this as they're shoveling money into its mouth. Really mad. That
is okay. This happens all the time in the video game industry. That is the gamer equivalent of hate fucking something.
You're really mad about it because it's down and dirty, but you're just like, but I need it.
What's up?
I didn't say anything, but...
Okay. Oh, I hope this comes to fruition.
The Try wouldn't make any sense because it's also going to play PS4 games too.
Oh, so the PlayStation...
And
the PlayStation... The Pent Station? God, no
No,
matter how I spin it, it doesn't sound good.
But no, this also could be what the PS5 is too. So this could be one console that plays 5 generation of games.
The PlayStation Omega.
God, that freaking sounds like a freaking emulation clusterfuck.
Watch, people crack it in the first week, and they realize that the entire library is already technically built into the console.
And then they want to punch a wall.
I don't know, Sony's actually pretty good with their systems not getting cracked too hard.
Well, okay, here's the other thing about it. Lee brings up a good point. Remember, $599 US, $599 US, $599 US.
Oh, that was funny then. They've admitted that was a huge mistake.
See, my main issue with something like this, I can already tell listening right away if it's going to do all that. You can tell this is going to be a digital-only console then.
Like I said, we have no clue. It's just a patent. They do this stuff all the time.
Right. And I guess the only reason why that irks me a bit is usually when we have these digital-only things, there are those games that sort of get lost in their translation, usually because they don't have a digital version or because they're too obscure. Which would make, if you want to play a certain game on there, near impossible.
The patent is for natural backwards compatibility.
Yeah, okay, so you can just pop in the disc, and you'll be able to play it.
Yeah, it's pop in disc, it plays. It's not backwards compatibility digitally, like it has a digital emulator. It is that the system is capable of reading all of the discs.
Simon, you hit the nail on the head, buddy. Yes, consoles are expensive to produce. It's video games are the razor and blade model, where you give people the razor, but you sell them the blades. You make all of your money off of the replacement items you make all of your money off of the accessories to the base thing that you convince somebody they need in their life.
The Actigear approach.
Pretty much, yeah. So consoles are always sold at a loss because they expect to they expect to eat that cost and then some off of the games that they sell people.
All right.
So
what should we do for our next topic?
Well, that is all the stories that I had from the past week. There is nothing else. So, like the podcast that came before this one, we always had a segment at the end I called The Last Word. Just something we added onto the stories that wasn't exactly written down. I think I'm gonna count that console thing as your story, Dio, unless you have something else.
We could talk about the new DBZ fighter characters just announced.
Is it okay to talk about considering what's been going on recently?
What?
I'm a little iffy talking about the DBZ fighters thing, if only because of the recent bullshit that's been going on.
No, they've been taking down tournaments. They've been taking down videos talking about it.
I don't mean that. I mean other stuff that's a little more political.
Huh? Alright, whatever. I'm not gonna force it.
The stupid voice shit.
The characters that have been announced for DBZ Fighters for Season 2 is Brawly from Brawly from Dragon Ball Super. So there's 2 versions of Brawly now.
I wonder what that dialogue is gonna be like. Kakarot?
Well, that's the thing. We really do have to wonder how that dialogue is going to be now, considering what happened.
Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta.
That makes sense. I think Videl was announced, right?
Yeah, Videl with Great Sandman, because she has her normal stuff, but all her big supers is Gohan coming in to do them. She cannot do the big flashy moves, so Gohan has to come in and do it for her.
Yeah, admittedly not a fan of that. Considering we were able to fight on our own in the other.
100% sense, because Videl doesn't have super moves unless you want to make some up.
Well, that's the thing. I think later things did have at least learn energy attacks.
Oh, anyway.
But no, like, these are super moves. It's not like, oh, she shoots a fireball. It's like Kamehameha wave. She doesn't have that. And Jiren, yeah, he's in the game. Woo, Jiren, he's there.
No.
Yeah. Funnily enough, they announced that there were going to be 6 characters for season 2. We only know of these 4. So 2 of them, we know nothing about because they refuse to do silhouettes for.
Okay.
I mean,
They're probably too recognizable is the thing.
No, because they have gotten burned before.
King Goku comes out, everyone just goes, what the fuck?
Oh, and also at the recent DBZ Fighters tournament after Grand Finals, which Sonic Fox did not win, they showed the most, hey, we're making this DBZ RPG. We're not going to show you anything that is substantially important. Here's Goku walking in front of locations.
You know, now I guess we're on the topic of anime games. I just thought of this. We haven't seen anything else from that Kill la Kill game that's supposed to be coming out.
No, we have. We've been getting little trickles of information here and there.
It looks
It's doing that anime fighter thing where they have the same character just using a different fighting style, and they count that as another entry in the roster.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it looks awkward. I've heard it's not bad, but it definitely looks really awkward.
I mean, that is odd considering there's a lot of fighters in that show.
But yeah, you can count the DBZ thing as like my like final.
Okay.
Thing.
So my last word is going to be less a story and more an amusing little anecdote. So, did you know in the USA version of Kingdom Hearts 3, the word Arnold appears in huge letters in a single frame during the Frozen segment? Do you know why?
Why?
That's a bit...
Go ahead.
Yes, go ahead.
Because during rendering, their copy of Autodesk Maya could not verify the license for Arnold rendering and watermarked it.
Class cut corners bullshit.
Well, that's probably because, like, you know, that team was probably insanely overworked and probably had to finish that game pretty quick because, you know, they're probably dogging Nomura to work on Final Fantasy VII.
I'm going to be honest at this point, though. I kind of wish they'd let Nomura go. Let's just say I've heard horror stories involving him.
I think the main thing is that Nomura is overworked.
Well, he's overworked and he's got an ego the size of a planet.
Yeah. You know who also has an ego the size of a planet? Miyamoto. He still made good games.
I think the only reason I have a problem is because it has been kind of said that the reason 15 turned out the way it does was unfortunately Nomura's fault.
I think that was because they kicked him off like 6 months before the game came out, and then they wanted to change everything he had involved in with it.
And then there's the stuff they said about CyberConnect 2, which kind of just set me off. Where once they made the Final Fantasy VII project. Sorry if I got off topic there.
Like, no, it's just, I think Nomura is just insanely overworked, and he probably just lashes out a lot because they are just they're like, no, you gotta do this and this and this, and he's like, isn't there other directors who can work on these games? No, you have to do it. You're our most popular director.
Yeah, Japan sort of has that problem a bit.
I'm going to die, though. You can sleep when you're dead then.
I can't really think of a final anecdote, honestly.
Hey, if you don't have anything this week, that's fine, man. Like, next week, I'll have the luxury of being able to send you guys the script and all the stories I collected so that you can plan around it. Like what we did, like what I did with Coops during the old podcast. So.
Oh yeah, Simon did bring up something I can bring up right here. Actually,
Okay.
supposedly we might be getting that Mana collection that came out in Japan a while back.
Ooh, that'd be nice. People can actually enjoy Seiken Densetsu 3 without downloading a patched ROM.
Yeah, but if you look at something like What Happened to the Secret of Mana remake, I'm kind of a little iffy.
That's a really bad game. How did they do that?
I love the original. I'll say that much. I love the original SNES.
So does everybody else. That's why the remake is so bad.
Yeah.
Which is even worse is because they did fix some problems that were inherent to the original version. If you actually look things over, it's just there's so much wrong with that game.
Yeah.
It's basically everything that they fixed. They did 20 worse things.
Like the one thing they don't fix is the fucking hitboxes.
All right, guys.
Oh, and there's a new DMC5 demo on PS4.
Cool. Check that out if you get the chance.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. That, I believe, is going to bring us the end of this week's Leftovers. Fridge is all cleaned out. There's nothing left. And so, thank you very much, everybody who showed up to this show. Thank you very much to my co-hosts, Dio Raptor and Noel Moogle. Before we end things off tonight, because I didn't do this during the actual stream, and I probably should have.
You forgot the dice again?
Yep, I'm going to roll a d20. And I got a 10. Halfway to what we need to make something amazing happen. It's got the right idea in mind. We just need 2 times that. Work twice as hard next time, Die. You can do it. All right, then.
And I just sits there on eating chips.
And that's going to bring us to the end. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, and please join us Wednesday night, not Sunday night like the new schedule leads you to believe, because I'm doing things with people tomorrow. Please join us again Wednesday night when we will be playing some multiplayer games together. We'll talk about what in the Discord itself. Until then, I'm Whatthefnu. Later, everybody.
Later.
Tell me when you're offline.